The New York Jets roster is ranked 24th in the NFL. Is that fair? Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary back with another video. Today I'll be talking about PFF's roster rankings. Before we get started today, I just wanted to mention that you can follow me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY. If you haven't already, please make sure to check out the Just Jets podcast and, of course, Exit 16 West. A new episode drops tonight. Don't want to miss that. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you guys here and just go through it. Right now, the Jets are ranked 24th by PFF. And honestly, I think that's kind of fair. We're going to look at the teams below them. We're going to look at the teams in front of them. And I don't really have too many complaints. And right now, their biggest strength, according to PFF, is the defensive line. And I think, obviously, with the addition of Jermaine Johnson, that's going to help a lot. Carl Lawson coming back from injury, I think, should help as well. They are the deepest on that position. Linebacker is a weak spot. That's what is listed off here. I think PFF's a little bit too low on CJ Mosley. Quincy Williams, I think, is really more of a depth guy, or what I think he should be, but he's going to be asked to start. So linebacker and safety to me are two weaker spots on this Jets team. And X factor, Zach Wilson. That's an obvious one, guys. The Jets are only going to be as good as what Zach Wilson takes them to be. Scrolling down here, looking at the teams below them, Detroit, yeah, I agree. The Jets are better than Detroit right now. It's close, but I give the Jets a slight edge. The Giants at 26, they have a lot of work to continue to do. The Panthers have a long way to go, unfortunately. Jacksonville still has a long way to go. They spent a lot of money in free agency, but they are not close to a completed team. The Jets aren't either, but I agree that this is still the Jets are better off right now than the Jaguars. Seattle, they're going to have to go through a rebuilding process. Chicago at 30. Yeah, I don't love their line right now. I think that's a major weak spot for them, unfortunately. Falcons, yep, that makes sense. No issue there. And 32, Houston. The Jets obviously better than all of those teams. And I don't necessarily think, by the way, that this means that the Jets are for sure going to finish, like, if you do the reverse order, 24th in the league. The teams in front of them, just because they have a better roster, doesn't mean that they're going to finish with a better record. We'll talk about that. And yeah, we'll just get into it. I think the Arizona Cardinals at 23. Okay, I agree. The Jets don't have that same firepower, especially in offense, and that 1-2 punch that they're going to have. Obviously, with the J.J. Watt and Zaven Collins is someone that I like a lot. They have a little bit of ways to go, but I think this is a good team. 22 Steelers, yeah, outside of Mitch Trubisky, this is a much better roster. They have so many weapons on offense. Defense, the T.J. Watt is just downright phenomenal. And Devin Bush and Miles Jack obviously have not graded out very well, but I think they are, steady linebackers. Raiders, yeah, big addition of Devontae Adams. Their receiving core is going to be really good. Derek Carr should be able to throw the ball all over the yard. Defensively, I mean, the Chandler Jones, Max Crosby 1-2 punch is going to be deadly. I can't wait to see that get into action here. The Titans, this is a team that made the playoffs last year. They won a division, and they have a chance to win a division again this year. It's been a little bit. They've taken some changes here, but this team should be pretty good. I like the Colts more, but more on that later. Vikings. Now, I don't think the Vikings necessarily finish with a better record than the Jets, but the wide receiver 1-2 punch, having Dalvin Cook, Kirk Cousins, for all of his flaws, has played really well. And defensively, there's a lot to like on that defensive line. So I have no issue with them in front. The Patriots, yeah, I think this is a fair spot. It's all dependent on how far Mac Jones goes. But this defense especially is really, really good. Wide receivers are okay. Tight ends are pretty solid, and the offensive line is good. So it's kind of dependent on what you believe in Mac Jones, I guess, here for the Patriots. Commanders is almost surprising to see this high. I guess I'm not really a big Carson Wentz guy anymore. It's 2017, 18, 19 Carson Wentz is a lot different than 2022 Carson Wentz. Defensively, they should be really good, but I don't know if they have enough to have a better record than the Jets at the end of the day. This Cowboys team should be good with their weapons on the offensive side of the ball. Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard's a beautiful 1-2 punch. And the defense is definitely improving and continuing to get better. Micah Parsons is just unreal. Colts, yep, makes sense. I think they win the AFC South. Last year, quarterback was a main issue for them. They brought in Matt Ryan. That's a definite upgrade. Broncos, same kind of situation that the Colts were in. They had Teddy Bridgewater. It was okay. And now I think they have taken a step to the next level with Russell. That's a good roster. The 49ers, I think, is a really good spot for either Trey Lance to come in and start, or Jimmy G could get them to probably the playoffs and maybe not much further than that. But this roster outside of the quarterback position is really, really good. We'll see what Trey Lance is at this point in his career. But that defense is good, and those weapons and playmakers are good, obviously. 12, the Ravens. Yep, no surprise there. This is a really, really good team. To me, I think they win the AFC North this year. The Saints at 11 is a little bit surprising. This is a good team. Obviously, there's some question marks at the wide receiver position because Chris Olave is a rookie and Michael Thomas hasn't played in a long time. But defensively, we know they're good. They have a good offensive line. I'm not a big Jameis guy, but as a complete roster, it's a good roster. This next team I was really surprised with. The Dolphins this high. I understand that they added Tyreek Hill. This is probably my biggest gripe here. I think they should be lower. Yeah, the one that stands out, Austin Jackson protecting the blind side of Tua Tagovailoa. Not great. Don't love that. Yeah, I don't know. I think 10 is extreme there. Chiefs at 9 feels low. This is a good team even without Tyreek Hill. The Bengals at 8. Yep, this roster is very, very good. Everyone knows that. 7, the Eagles is a little bit surprising, but they are a deep team. They had a really nice draft. They added A.J. Brown. That's going to help them out a lot. We'll see if Jalen Hurts is the real deal or not this year. At 6, the Browns, yeah, I don't think they make the playoffs because I think Deshaun Watson's going to be suspended for a long time. But if we're assuming Watson's the starting quarterback, I mean, that's going to make a huge difference because the last time we saw him, he was arguably a top 5 quarterback. 2015, number 5, Packers. Aaron Rodgers at quarterback is going to help everything. Devontae Adams leaving is going to hurt, but this is it was a really good defense, really good offensive line, and you have one of the best quarterbacks in football. The Rams this high still makes sense. This roster is really, really good. I don't understand how they continue to do this with the salary cap, but they figure out ways to keep this team together. The Chargers is going to be a sexy Super Bowl pick. Justin Herbert's phenomenal. He's so much fun to watch, and this team around them is just really good. They added a lot of weapons. They added Khalil Mack. This is going to be a fun team. I think they're much improved. The Bucs, obviously, with Tom Brady coming back, is going to be gigantic for them. This team is just good. They are so good. That offensive line is nasty. The defense is good. And first, the Buffalo Bills, a divisional opponent who we know very well, and that's not really all that surprising to see them ranked up so high. So I have no issues with the Jets at 24. Once again, I'll say it another time. I think that's fair. Can they improve? Yes. I think if Zach Wilson shows out as what I expect him to in year 2, then by this time next year, when they're doing these preseason rankings, the Jets will probably be somewhere around the middle of the pack, which is a massive step up. They were a bottom 5 roster. They improved a lot, but I think they still have some ways to go. So I have no issues with this. And depending on what happens this year, I think they could skyrocket up this list. Let me know what you think. Is the ranking fair? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll catch you next time.